Joining us today is the last day you can register to vote in the next month's elections. And when you get your official ballot, you'll see a number of propositions.
Yes, including one that would pump more than $200 million into city parks without costing you a cent. News 4 Tucson's Aaliyah Shahid has the story.
Alicia Ramirez visits Mansfield Park with her son weekly, but the trip isn't always fun and games.
Use drug paraphernalia all over the park, and it's like in the playground areas.
Proposition 407 would pump more than $3 million into improvements for Mansfield Park and millions more into nearly every park in Tucson.
Proposition 407 would improve 100 of the city's 128 parks, $133 million in improvements in the parks, and then the rest of the money would go to create new greenways, sidewalks, and bike boulevards so that people can get to those parks safely and easily.
The bond proposal would generate $225 million over 9 years.
Proposition 407, if it is approved by voters, would not increase property taxes at all. We would keep the bond rate exactly stable by selling off the bonds as the old bonds are retired.
If voted through, the project would start in 2020 and implement the improvements in 3 phases. Improvements Alicia says can't come soon enough.
I think it's long overdue, so that's great.
The city has posted an interactive map that shows all parks that would benefit from Prop 407. You can find a link on our website, KVOA.com. Aaliyah Shahid, News 4 Tucson.
A U.S. Border Patrol agent was sentenced today for starting the sawmill fire of April 2017. That blaze scorched more than 47,000 acres. News 4 Tucson's Danelle Confair has more on the sentencing.
Dennis Dickey was sentenced in federal court this morning. He's set to pay $100,000 from his savings and $500 every month for the next 20 years. Dickey says it began while he was shooting a rifle at a target filled with explosive materials for his baby gender reveal party like this one. That fire went on to cause $8 million in damages. Dickey immediately reported the wildfire, which went on to burn nearly 47,000 acres in the sawmill fire. In court Tuesday, he apologized for starting the fire. News 4 Tucson caught up with his attorney after sentencing.
There was $8 million in damage, but the government correctly recognized they could never collect that amount of money from him. So they agreed to a settlement where he would pay us what is a substantial amount for him over the next 20 years, $200,000. And as long as his financial circumstances don't change for the better, that's going to be his obligation.
Dickey declined to go on camera. Reporting outside of federal court, Danelle Confair, News 4 Tucson.
The trial is underway for a Tucson mother accused of severely burning her 5-year-old adopted daughter. Today, a jury is being selected for Samantha Ostra's case. The incident happened back in 2016 at a Northwest Side home. Ostras was arrested a week after the girl suffered third-degree burns to 80% of her body. The mother told 911 she didn't realize she was bathing the child in hot water. The trial is expected to last about a week.
A Tucson man was arrested in San Francisco on multiple charges involving child prostitution, sexual exploitation of a minor, and sexual conduct with a minor. His bond is now set at $15 million cash. News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has the facts in tonight's Crime Trackers report.
The U.S. Marshals here in Tucson helped locate Tommy Siqueiro III in San Francisco. He's wanted out of Springerville, Arizona.
We consider this individual a child predator. We consider the crimes he's been accused of as heinous crimes, and we are going to pursue anybody who does anything like this, no matter where they hide.
35-year-old Siqueiro is suspected of having sex with girls under 15. On September 27th, a judge in Apache County issued an arrest warrant. He's charged with 6 counts of child prostitution, 6 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, and 4 counts of sexual conduct with a minor.
I cannot comment to specifics of the conduct. What I do know is that the conduct occurred in Springerville. The accused is obviously a Tucson resident, and that it occurred in a local hotel up there in Springerville, and as you can imagine, based on the nature of the charges, it's not good.
A judge has placed a $15 million cash-only bond on Siqueiro. He's awaiting an extradition hearing. Lupita Murillo, News 4 Tucson.
Tucson police are investigating a deadly shooting in Midtown. It happened last night near 5th Street and Craycroft. Authorities say a man was shot outside Christ Church United Methodist. That man was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police are now asking anyone with information about the shooting to call 911 or 88 Crime.
In a story you'll only see on 4, a violent incident involving guns was caught on camera on the U of A campus recently, but police say no one immediately reported it. The video, which you may find disturbing, was sent anonymously to News 4 Tucson investigator Matthew Schwartz. Here's his report.
Witnesses recorded a pistol whipping on the UA campus, but police say no one bothered to call 911 until hours later.
We had a crime in progress and nobody called, and there were several people around that saw this.
UA Police Chief Brian Seastone.
We did not get a call about this until about 4 o'clock in the morning, so 1 to 3 hours later.
This, although there are 3 emergency call boxes close by. It happened early in the morning of September 9th outside the 6th Street garage. According to UA police reports, the attack was related to an argument that occurred earlier during a party at this nearby off-campus house. The argument escalated across the street outside the garage. Suddenly, a black car pulls up and several people carrying semi-automatic handguns get out. The man in the white t-shirt and the woman in the burgundy top approach a man in a black tank top. The pistol whipping isn't easy to see, but you can hear the gun hitting the victim's head. Police say the unidentified victim is a UA student. He took several stitches to the head. 4 days later, police arrested both alleged attackers, who they say are not UA students, and charged them with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The man in the white t-shirt is active military and Army specialist at Fort Huachuca. He's been identified as 21-year-old Sabir Alim Key. Police say the woman in the burgundy top is his wife, 26-year-old Latrice Key.
What was their motive?
Their motive? Very interesting. They drove by, they saw this going on, thought that they would get out and see what was going on. Absolutely, completely random.
The attackers apparently didn't know the victim, but may have been friends with another man involved in the argument, because after the pistol whipping, a witness is seen shaking Key's hand, thanking him.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you.
The video was sent to us and to UA police on a thumb drive, along with a letter signed "Concerned Citizens for a Safer U of A." The anonymous authors make several allegations against UA police, mainly that they tried to keep the pistol whipping quiet by not making an emergency campus notification.
There was not an immediate threat that we could determine to the institution. It was evaluated, and that's why the email alert did not go out.
The letter also alleges that the U of A's non-emergency voice mailbox was full, so callers